Hello, and welcome back to a new video by the Discourse platform. My name is Johan, and I will be your host in this video. Alright, so, as you guys know, Discourse is like a little learning platform. I've been teaching people how to code since 2018, 2017-ish. And since then, I also started a YouTube channel in 2020 after COVID hit. I decided to do some YouTube videos helping you guys how to code, teaching guys a little bit and stuff like that. And I also have been selling courses since 2018, but I actually never talked about where I learned how to code because I'm not from a coding background. Before this, I was a chef. I was a head chef of a four-star Superior hotel in Austria for a few years. But I always had like an affinity with coding. I always found it really interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys where I started. So my coding journey actually started in 2013. It was after like a video of Steve Jobs where he was actually like giving a motivational speech that was just before he died. And I actually decided to buy a MacBook. My first MacBook, I always was like an Apple hater. I didn't care about the brand. I was a gamer. I played a lot of Call of Duty and Guild Wars 2, Aeon and stuff like that. So I didn't need a Mac. But I found it really interesting. So what I did, I bought my first MacBook Pro. This was a 13-inch, $1,300 with 8 gigs of RAM and dual-core CPU. It was like the cheapest MacBook Pro I could find. And I actually bought this book, Programming in Objective-C. This book actually has like, I think it's like 600 or 700 pages. It was like really crazy. But this is actually how I learned how to code. I started programming in Objective-C. It was really hard. It was really drama. But it was actually also really, really motivating. And it was actually really crazy. So after that, wait a second, I'm gonna pull up the designs. After that, I actually created my first app. And this was completely written in Objective-C. And the coolest thing about this app was it was an ad blocker. It was made for iOS 8 or 9-ish or something. And the coolest thing about this, it actually worked on iPhone and it worked on iPad. And all the functions here that you see, block advertisement, block images, content, videos, fonts, this was actually all written in Objective-C. It took me 6 months. And it was like the code always crashed. So I actually added like a lot of Crashlytics and stuff like that to it, just to be sure. But it was actually a really nice experience and really a thrilling feeling to have like an iOS application on the App Store. And it sold, I think, 300 or 400 times. So it was actually pretty cool. And yeah, and then in 2014, 2015, Apple actually announced Swift. So I went to udemy.com because I really wanted to learn Swift. And there were like a few people like Dr. Angela Ju, or you. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced your name. Her videos are actually really nice. She actually explains it in a really nice and a really cool way. And she actually helped me with a lot of coding as well. It was pretty amazing. But after I did her course, I still didn't really get it for some reason. I don't know why. After that, you have like Caleb, Stultz, and Jonathan. They were actually part of DevSlopes, and they are actually amazing instructors as well. And as you can see here, here's DevSlopes from Mark Wahlbeck. Since then, they actually have their own website. And I actually learned coding with them before they started the whole bootcamp $1,000 programs, like for example this one. The programs are really nice. I actually have read the syllabus. It's actually pretty amazing, but I'm not gonna pay like a few $1,000s for this. So they actually had courses like for 20, 50 euros or dollars, and that was actually okay for me. So I started doing iOS development with them. And after that, I actually found out that Swift is actually really easy, and it is actually one of my most favorite programming languages. And the coolest thing about it, you can use it for everything these days. You can use it for iOS development, tvOS, macOS, watchOS. You can even build websites in it. I mean, my first DevScourse website, which I launched in 2018, was written in Swift. This was truly amazing. And for me personally, just some tips. Don't just follow videos. I noticed when I first time did the course of Angela Ju or you, she actually you keep coding what they do, right? And don't do that. Change some function names or just look at the way how they code it. Maybe you're like, no, this is not how I want to do it. You can do it a little bit different. And that is how I learned how to code. After that, I actually also found out Ray Wenderlich. It's also a really amazing website. I actually bought all of their ebooks because the ebooks are actually really, really remarkable. Here in this case, the books. They have like really nice books here. They're a little bit pricey, like $50 or $60, but it's actually amazing. Sometimes when I'm coding, I'm actually like coding something that doesn't work. I actually take a Ray Wenderlich ebook to check for documentation, and their books are also really amazing. And yeah, that's a little bit how I started to code. When I started coding, it was really hard for me because I was working full time as a chef and later as a head chef. So I didn't even, I was telling myself, like, no, I don't have time to do that. No, I can't. I want to sleep. And then I thought, like, wait a second, if I work 16 hours a day as a head chef, that leaves 8 hours for me, right? So you can do 8 hours of sleep, or you can actually lower the time you sleep and you can code. So what I did, I started sleeping 6 hours instead of 8, and I started to code 2 hours a day. After a month, it went to 5 hours sleep, 3 hours of code. And in the end, I even had days that I didn't sleep at all. I was working, coding, and working, and I didn't sleep for 2 or 3 days. Not healthy, believe me, but that is how I learned how to code. Coding is, I truly believe that coding is for everyone. Everyone who has an idea, who wants to do something, they can actually do that. They just have to do it. That's that's a little bit the only thing. You have to make time for it, and don't tell yourself, no, I don't have time, I can't do this. It's BS. Don't do that. Make time. So if you sleep 8 hours, sleep 6 hours, or sleep 7 hours, but code every day for an hour minimum. And that's how I learned how to code. I have my own website, devscourse.com. I'm actually sometimes I try to write write articles. I try to write guides. I don't have a lot of time for it because I work a lot as a freelancer. But yeah, I'm here to help you guys to learn how to code as well. And just for the people who are interested, I actually have one free course online, Learn Swift 5 UI Kit. This is like 38 videos where you learn Swift 5 and UI Kit. I also have a 15 days guide to Swift, with which you can actually learn every day something about Swift. And this is how I learned. I was reading documentation, I was watching videos, I was reading articles from Ray Wenderlich, I was looking on LinkedIn for training courses, and you guys can do the same. So I hope for you guys that you understand a little bit how my journey started and how it's actually ending, because these days I almost work full-time as a freelance iOS developer, or a Swift developer actually. And I'm also helping people how to code. A lot of people actually find my videos on YouTube now starting to Discord me, like, oh, can you help me with this? Or can you show me can I show you my code? Can you check it? I'm happy to do that. So if you guys need any help with learning how to code, or if you guys don't understand how to keep going, or if you're stuck, send me a message. It can be a YouTube comment, you can send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn even, or come to my Discord channel and let's talk about code. So I hope for you guys that this was interesting. I hope you guys learned a little bit and that you understand how I started and how you can start yourself and how you can actually succeed and become that iOS developer or become that web developer, what you want to do. All right, so thank you for watching this video and I see you next time.